Overthinking is one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth and success. When the mind is constantly analyzing, questioning, and doubting every decision, it creates a mental trap that is difficult to escape. Many people believe that excessive thinking helps them make better choices, but in reality, it often leads to indecision, stress, and anxiety. Instead of taking action, individuals caught in the cycle of overthinking remain stuck, unable to move forward because they fear making the wrong choice. The longer they hesitate, the harder it becomes to make a decision, leading to missed opportunities and regret. Overanalyzing situations does not change outcomes. It only adds to mental exhaustion. The mind replays scenarios repeatedly, looking for answers that may not even exist. This habit often stems from a fear of failure or the desire for complete certainty before making a move. However, no one can predict the future with absolute certainty, and waiting for the perfect moment often means waiting forever. The truth is, clarity comes from taking action, not from overthinking. Once a decision is made, the path forward becomes clearer, and adjustments can be made along the way. One of the dangers of overthinking is that it creates false problems. The mind begins to invent potential issues that may never actually happen. People imagine worst-case scenarios, convincing themselves that disaster is inevitable. This type of thinking triggers unnecessary stress and anxiety, making situations seem worse than they actually are. Instead of looking at challenges as opportunities for growth, overthinkers see them as threats, which can lead to avoidance and inaction. They hesitate to step out of their comfort zones, fearing all the what-ifs that may never materialize. Overthinking can also damage self-confidence. When people constantly question their abilities or doubt their decisions, they start believing that they are not capable of handling challenges. This leads to hesitation and a lack of trust in oneself. Confidence comes from experience, but overthinkers rarely give themselves the chance to gain that experience because they are too focused on analyzing every possible outcome. The cycle of doubt and hesitation only reinforces the belief that they are not ready, preventing them from ever truly progressing. Another negative effect of overthinking is its impact on mental and emotional well-being. A mind that is constantly overanalyzing is rarely at peace. Thoughts become overwhelming, making it difficult to relax or focus on the present moment. Many people struggle with sleep problems because their minds refuse to rest, replaying past mistakes or worrying about the future. This mental exhaustion affects productivity, relationships, and overall happiness. The more energy spent on overthinking, the less energy remains for meaningful actions and positive experiences. Breaking free from overthinking requires intentional effort. One of the most effective ways to overcome this habit is to practice decision-making with confidence. Instead of analyzing every possibility, focus on what is known and make the best choice based on available information. Trust that even if mistakes happen, they can be corrected. Mistakes are a natural part of growth, and every successful person has experienced failures along the way. Learning to make decisions without excessive doubt allows for forward momentum rather than being trapped in hesitation. Another helpful strategy is setting time limits on decision-making. Overthinkers often spend too much time trying to make the perfect choice. However, setting a deadline forces the mind to focus and prevents endless analysis. For small decisions, giving oneself only a few minutes to decide can help build confidence in decision-making abilities. For bigger decisions, setting a reasonable deadline ensures that progress is made instead of being stuck in an endless loop of uncertainty. Focusing on solutions rather than problems is another way to overcome overthinking. Many overthinkers dwell on what could go wrong, but shifting the mindset toward finding solutions creates a more positive and action-oriented approach. Instead of worrying about potential obstacles, ask, what can I do to improve this situation? Or, how can I make this work? Solution-based thinking reduces fear and creates a sense of control over situations, making it easier to take action. Practicing mindfulness and staying present also helps reduce overthinking. When people focus too much on the past or worry excessively about the future, they lose sight of the present moment. Mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or simply redirecting attention to the present task can break the cycle of overthinking. Engaging in activities that require full concentration, such as exercise, reading, or creative hobbies, can also help quiet the mind and reduce unnecessary analysis. Another effective way to combat overthinking is to embrace imperfection. Many overthinkers struggle with perfectionism, believing that every decision must be flawless. However, perfection is an illusion, and waiting for everything to be perfect only leads to stagnation. Accepting that mistakes are part of the learning process allows for greater freedom to take action without fear. The most successful people in the world did not wait for perfect conditions. Surrounding oneself with positive and action-oriented people also helps in overcoming overthinking. Being around individuals who take initiative and focus on solutions can be inspiring and motivating. Conversations with such people often provide clarity and encourage taking decisive action rather than getting lost in endless thoughts. Seeking guidance from mentors or trusted friends can offer new perspectives and help in making informed decisions without unnecessary doubt. Overthinking is a habit that can be broken with awareness and consistent effort. The key is to shift from excessive analysis to confident action. Instead of getting stuck in the endless cycle of what ifs, focusing on what now leads to a more productive and fulfilling life. Trusting oneself, embracing uncertainty, and making decisions with courage pave the way for personal growth, success, and inner peace. Worrying is a natural response to uncertainty, but when it becomes excessive, it drains mental and emotional energy, leaving a person feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. Many people believe that worrying helps them prepare for the future or avoid problems, but in reality, it often creates more stress than solutions. Constantly dwelling on things that may or may not happen takes away from the present moment, making it difficult to enjoy life or focus on what truly matters. Worrying does not prevent problems. It only makes existing challenges feel bigger than they actually are. One of the biggest issues with excessive worrying is that it creates a cycle of negativity. When the mind is filled with anxious thoughts, it becomes harder to see positive possibilities or solutions. Worrying often leads to overanalyzing situations, imagining worst-case scenarios, and expecting failure before even trying. This negative mindset can prevent people from taking action, pursuing opportunities, or making important decisions. Instead of moving forward with confidence, they remain stuck, allowing fear and doubt to control their actions. Another way excessive worrying drains energy is by causing mental fatigue. The brain is like a muscle, and just like overworking a physical muscle leads to exhaustion, constantly stressing over things leads to mental burnout. People who worry too much often experience difficulty concentrating, making decisions, or being productive. Their minds are occupied with endless what-if scenarios, making it difficult to focus on tasks at hand. This not only reduces efficiency, but also increases frustration, leading to even more stress. Worrying too much also affects physical health. The mind and body are deeply connected, and prolonged stress from excessive worrying can lead to real physical symptoms. Common effects include headaches, muscle tension, fatigue, digestive issues, and sleep disturbances. Many people who worry excessively struggle with insomnia because their minds refuse to slow down. Sleep deprivation further weakens the body's ability to cope with stress, creating a vicious cycle of exhaustion and anxiety. Over time, chronic worrying can contribute to more serious health conditions, such as high blood pressure, heart problems, and weakened immune function. Another consequence of excessive worrying is its impact on emotional well-being. Constantly feeling anxious or stressed reduces overall happiness and satisfaction in life. People who worry too much often find it hard to relax or enjoy the present moment because their minds are always focused on future uncertainties. This can lead to irritability, mood swings, and even depression. Worrying also affects relationships, as it can make a person more distant, short-tempered, or overly dependent on others for reassurance. When someone is consumed by worry, they may struggle to connect with loved ones, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. Excessive worrying also limits personal growth and success. People who are always afraid of failure or negative outcomes often avoid taking risks, trying new things, or stepping out of their comfort zones. Fear of the unknown prevents them from pursuing opportunities that could lead to success and fulfillment. Many talented individuals hold themselves back because they worry too much about what could go wrong, rather than focusing on what could go right. Success requires action, and those who let worry control their decisions often miss out on great possibilities simply because they were too afraid to try. One of the best ways to manage excessive worrying is to focus on what can be controlled. Many worries are about things that are beyond one's control. Other people's actions, the future, or unpredictable events. Instead of wasting energy on things that cannot be changed, it is more productive to focus on actions that can make a difference. For example, instead of worrying about failing a test, one can focus on preparing well. Instead of stressing about the future, one can take small steps today to build a better tomorrow. Redirecting energy toward action rather than anxiety leads to greater peace of mind. Another effective strategy is to practice mindfulness and staying present. Worrying often stems from focusing too much on the future or regretting the past. Mindfulness involves bringing attention to the present moment, allowing oneself to fully experience life without unnecessary distractions. Engaging in activities like deep breathing, meditation, or even simple things like walking in nature or listening to music can help quiet the mind and reduce worry. When the focus is on the now, anxiety about the unknown begins to fade. Challenging negative thoughts is also important in overcoming excessive worrying. Many worries are based on irrational fears or exaggerated possibilities. Asking questions like, is this thought based on facts or assumptions? Or, what is the worst that could realistically happen? Can help put worries into perspective. Often, people realize that the things they worry about are unlikely to happen or are not as catastrophic as they seem. Replacing negative thoughts with positive and realistic ones helps shift the mindset from fear to confidence. Surrounding oneself with positive and supportive people can also help in managing worry. Spending time with those who encourage growth, offer reassurance, and provide solutions rather than feeding into anxiety makes a significant difference. Talking to trusted friends, family members, or mentors can help put worries into perspective and provide clarity. Sometimes simply expressing concerns out loud helps reduce their intensity, making them feel more manageable. Setting time limits on worrying is another useful technique. Instead of letting worries take over the entire day, setting aside a specific time, perhaps 10 to 15 minutes, to think about concerns can help contain them. Comparing oneself to others is a common habit, but when done excessively, it becomes a major obstacle to self-confidence and personal growth. In a world where social media highlights only the best moments of people's lives, it is easy to feel inadequate by measuring success, happiness, and progress against others. However, this mindset is both unhealthy and counterproductive. It shifts focus away from personal strengths and accomplishments, replacing them with unnecessary self-doubt. Instead of appreciating one's own journey, excessive comparison leads to feelings of failure, frustration, and insecurity. One of the biggest dangers of constant comparison is that it creates unrealistic expectations. People tend to compare their struggles with someone else's highlights, forgetting that everyone faces challenges behind the scenes. Social media, for example, often portrays a filtered reality where people showcase their best achievements, happiest moments, and most attractive appearances. This creates the illusion that others are always thriving while one's own life seems full of imperfections. The truth is, no one shares their failures, disappointments, or personal struggles as often as they share their successes. When people base their self-worth on these false comparisons, they set impossible standards for themselves, leading to feelings of never being good enough. Another negative effect of excessive comparison is that it shifts focus away from personal progress. Everyone has their own timeline for success, and growth happens at different speeds for different people. However, when individuals constantly measure themselves against others, they overlook how far they have come. Instead of celebrating their own improvements, they fixate on what others have achieved. This creates frustration and discouragement, making it seem like personal efforts are insignificant. True success is about self-improvement, not comparison. Focusing on one's own journey allows for steady growth and personal fulfillment. Constant comparison also creates unnecessary pressure. Many people push themselves too hard, not because they genuinely want to improve, but because they feel they need to keep up with others. This can lead to burnout, stress, and even anxiety. Instead of enjoying the process of learning and growing, they become obsessed with competing. This is especially harmful when people chase goals that do not align with their true passions or interests. They end up pursuing things just because someone else is doing them, rather than focusing on what truly brings them happiness. Living life based on external expectations rather than personal fulfillment leads to dissatisfaction and regret. Another harmful impact of excessive comparison is that it undermines self-worth. When people constantly compare themselves to others, they focus on what they lack rather than appreciating what they have. This leads to low self-esteem and a negative self-improvement. Instead of recognizing their unique strengths, they become fixated on their perceived shortcomings. This mindset is destructive because confidence is built through self-acceptance and self-appreciation. A person who constantly measures themselves against others will always feel like they are falling short, no matter how much they achieve. Learning to embrace individuality and appreciate personal strengths is essential for maintaining self-confidence. Comparison also affects relationships and personal interactions. When people are too focused on competing, they may begin to feel resentment or jealousy toward others. Instead of being happy for someone else's success, they may feel bitter or insecure. This creates negative emotions that can damage friendships, professional relationships, and even family dynamics. True confidence comes from supporting and celebrating others while still being proud of personal progress. Rather than seeing someone else's achievements as a threat, viewing them as inspiration can lead to a healthier and more positive mindset. One way to overcome excessive comparison is to shift focus to personal goals and progress. Instead of looking at what others are doing, individuals should ask themselves, what do I want to achieve? And how can I improve from where I was yesterday? Keeping a personal journal of accomplishments and setting individual goals can help reinforce a sense of purpose and motivation. Progress should be measured based on personal growth, not someone else's achievements. When people focus on their own journey, they develop a stronger sense of self and are less affected by external influences. Practicing gratitude is another powerful way to break free from comparison. When people appreciate what they already have, they feel more content and less envious of others. Writing down things to be grateful for every day helps shift focus from what is missing to what is already present. Gratitude fosters a positive mindset, making it easier to feel confident and secure in one's own life. Instead of seeing what others have, focusing on personal blessings and achievements creates a healthier and happier perspective. Another effective strategy is to limit exposure to comparison triggers. Social media is one of the biggest sources of unhealthy comparison. If scrolling through feeds makes someone feel inadequate, it may be helpful to take a break or unfollow accounts that create feelings of self-doubt. Instead, following content that inspires growth and self-improvement can create a more positive online experience. Surrounding oneself with uplifting and supportive people also helps in maintaining confidence and self-worth. Building self-confidence through self-acceptance is key to overcoming the habit of comparison. Everyone has strengths, weaknesses, successes, and failures. Accepting oneself fully, without needing validation from external sources, leads to inner peace and confidence. Instead of striving to be like someone else, embracing personal uniqueness makes a person stand out in their own way. No two journeys are the same, and real success comes from being true to oneself. Learning to celebrate others without feeling inferior is another important mindset shift. There will always be people who are more successful, wealthier, or more skilled in certain areas. However, their success does not diminish anyone else's value. Instead of feeling discouraged, seeing others as examples of what is possible can be motivating. If someone else achieves something great, it means success is attainable. Using that as inspiration rather than comparison creates a positive outlook on personal potential. The habit of excessive comparison robs people of their confidence, happiness, and peace of mind. It creates unrealistic expectations, fosters self-doubt, and shifts focus away from personal progress. Learning to appreciate one's own journey, practice gratitude, limit exposure to comparison triggers, and build self-confidence through self-acceptance are all ways to overcome this destructive habit. When individuals stop measuring themselves against others and start focusing on their own growth, they unlock their true potential and live with greater confidence and fulfillment. Taking on too many responsibilities may seem like a sign of dedication and hard work, but in reality, overcommitting leads to stress, exhaustion, and reduced productivity. Many people feel pressured to say yes to every opportunity, request, or task, believing that doing more will bring success and validation. However, constantly stretching oneself thin does not lead to better results. It leads to burnout. When energy is spread across too many commitments, the ability to perform effectively in any of them diminishes. Instead of making progress, overcommitment causes frustration, delays, and poor quality work. One of the major problems with overcommitting is that it reduces focus and efficiency. The brain works best when it can dedicate time and energy to a few important tasks rather than constantly juggling multiple demands. When someone commits to too many things, their attention becomes scattered, making it difficult to give their best effort in any one area. Instead of excelling in a few key responsibilities, they end up doing everything at a mediocre level. Multitasking often feels productive, but in reality it reduces overall efficiency and increases the likelihood of mistakes. The more things a person takes on, the harder it becomes to complete them with excellence. Another major consequence of overcommitment is chronic stress and exhaustion. The human body and mind have limits, and pushing beyond those limits for long periods leads to physical and mental burnout. When someone is constantly working without adequate rest, their energy reserves become depleted. This can result in fatigue, headaches, muscle tension, and even weakened immune function. The constant pressure of having too much on one's plate also increases anxiety, making it difficult to relax or enjoy life. Instead of feeling a sense of achievement, overcommitted individuals often feel overwhelmed and frustrated, unable to keep up with their own expectations. Overcommitting also takes a toll on mental clarity and decision-making abilities. When there is too much happening at once, the brain struggles to prioritize effectively. Important tasks may get delayed, forgotten, or rushed, leading to subpar outcomes. Decision-making becomes stressful as every choice feels urgent and pressured. Instead of making thoughtful, well-planned decisions, overcommitted individuals often find themselves reacting impulsively just to keep up. This results in errors, missed opportunities, and unnecessary stress that could have been avoided with better time management. One of the biggest dangers of overcommitting is that it reduces personal and family time. When someone is constantly busy with work, obligations, and responsibilities, there is little room left for meaningful personal connections. Relationships with family and friends suffer because there is no time or energy to nurture them. Overcommitted individuals may find themselves constantly distracted, unable to be fully present with loved ones. Over time, this creates emotional distance and feelings of isolation. Success is not just about professional achievements. It also includes maintaining strong relationships and a balanced life. Overcommitting also prevents deep work and personal growth. When someone is always rushing from one task to another, they do not have the time or mental space to engage in meaningful learning or self-improvement. True mastery of a skill or career requires dedication and focus. But when responsibilities are piled up, there is no time to develop expertise in any one area. Instead of growing and improving, overcommitted individuals remain stuck in a cycle of busyness without real progress. Growth requires intentional effort, reflection, and the ability to focus deeply on important tasks. One reason people overcommit is the fear of saying no. Many individuals feel guilty or anxious when they decline a request, worrying that they might disappoint others or miss out on opportunities. However, saying yes to everything often leads to more harm than good. When people agree to things they do not have time for, they end up delivering poor results or failing to meet expectations. This not only affects their own well-being, but also damages their credibility and reliability. Learning to say no is an essential skill that protects time, energy, and personal priorities. One effective way to avoid overcommitting is setting clear priorities. Instead of saying yes to everything, it is important to focus on the tasks and responsibilities that align with long-term goals and values. Not everything requires immediate attention, and not every opportunity is worth pursuing. By prioritizing the most important activities and letting go of unnecessary commitments, individuals can create space for meaningful work and a balanced life. A simple way to prioritize is by asking, does this contribute to my goals and well-being? If the answer is no, then it may not be worth the time and energy. Another strategy is time blocking and scheduling. Many people overcommit because they underestimate how much time and effort each task requires. By using a structured schedule, individuals can see exactly how much time they have available and avoid taking on too much.